versus DCG.
Yep, we are loading in, of course. Now, junglers, this game, I think you can go to either lane, in reality. I think it's hard for 665 to really find anything onto Hanabi on the Gragas, but I think for Hana, there is a pretty good chance that you can look for a dive here, assuming that this lane plays out how we traditionally see it play out. And that can be worrisome, because not only can this Maokai look bot, there's so much set up there, but you can also look top, so keeping track of where Hana is on the Maokai could be one of the most important things this game. We're seeing earlier, I'm sure we will find out where he's starting through the ward. 665 looks like he's preparing to try and find that.
He might just come in here and drop a ward on the other side for DCG. Do place it. Now, one thing I want to quickly draw attention to is Jace took both second win and D-Shield, which I think is probably the correct decision. Nico is just on another level when it comes to laning, and having all that extra sustain will go a very long way. I remember a long time ago, Jace used to actually be a really good matchup in an eco, because you could always just E her away when she ulted. But now, I think the fact that she's going to be invisible for a lot of it, or you won't see it rather, it makes it a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
Now some good damage already onto Orca. And top lane, Hanabi, he's got the Comet, of course. I want to see if that lane... Oh, it's Orca. He's getting traded on again.
Yeah, he's taken a lot of damage early on here in this lane. Already lost one pot.
Yeah, West Point's bot lane doing very well for themselves. I really just want the camera kind of on top lane at the moment, because I want to see what ends up happening, because it always feels that Jax gets chunked down, but then the wave gets frozen at tower, and from then, Gragas just kind of snowballs the lead.
Rolls those barrels on out, and
yeah,
Jax's health slowly but surely depletes.
Okay. Well, it is looking fairly similar. I don't think Rel here will be able to crash this wave, and he hasn't done the solo kill strat of going to proxy, so I think we are going to see probably a pretty rough top matchup for the Jax, especially because there is going to be no help for him. Both junglers are on that bot side of the map. And Mission, I think, is doing pretty well here. Ooh,
oh, here we are.
I'm getting flashbacks.
Yeah, Reliant's not going to be able to get this wave.
Yeah, this might be even worse.
Maybe.
Oh, he gets level 4. I think Hanabi might just be able to pull this, though. Yeah, even if he just holds it there, I think it's pretty solid. Will he go and chase the reset? They're not going to go for it. Oh, the reset was cancelled. Cascada?
Oh, Cascada is going to have to use that flash and that cleanse, but he... Oh! The flash forward from 665 misses. It is going to eventually find that first blood. Almost a disaster there, but Cascada getting way ahead of himself is going to be stunned up, taken down, and West Point on the board early.
A first blood for Viego is really important. Is going to be able to snowball quite hard off that. Nice damage.
Orca.
Yeah.
Lapping Char around down there. That was, if that last tower shot came through, that was going to be a kill.
I think Cascada, he felt like he was safe here, had the Maokai very close by, but unfortunately walked into E-range when the Nautilus was a bit too far. You can see the hook doesn't quite connect, and really didn't respect the Viego either. Probably should have just ran towards the Maokai instead, but with that, his fate was sealed. Orca had to flash as well. Big win for West Point on the bot side of the map.
Back to live. Ralia is maintaining CS, but how long will that stay true? Mission, though, getting pretty hard chunked out there by Noli. Nice little trade. Now a contest over this Raptor does go in favor of 665, so it's Viego finding himself a bit more of an advantage.
Aurelia, he still hasn't got the reset off. Has some cookies, and Mission needs to be a little careful. I think he's dead.
Mission just dies.
And that's with all this extra sustain that he took. I mean, to be honest, that was pretty greedy. I think definitely had the opportunity to base a long time ago and decided to stay instead. He grabbed some magic resist, but I always say that if you intend on building defensively, you've really got to get it before you die, because at the point that they get accelerated, obviously it's just a lot harder to survive.
Yeah, Sork boots. So your null magic means nothing already.
Ooh, yeah, it's going to be really hard for Mission. I think he only has the tier, doesn't even have any swords or anything.
The 2-0 now, 1k gold lead, only 6 minutes in for West Point. If they're able to maintain this, you have to like it. There is obviously DCG outscale late game, but when you are getting accelerated, it doesn't matter so much. Oh, they wish, oh my goodness gracious me. If either of those skill shots landed, could have been pretty good there for DCG, as Hana was well ahead of 665 in that sort of bot lane region. But as I was saying, I think really late game, this Jace will turn on and it'll be really hard to go up against. But ultimately, it's not that big of a difference. And the team fighting capability of this West Point team probably just makes up for that gap. As long as you are able to find the engage. Nico obviously a lot stronger in those 5v5s than the Jace.
Yeah. And I think as well, if you look at the top lane, despite the trades going in Gragas' favor, Rally has actually kept the CS very close, which is a lot better than what we've often seen.
Yeah. Big credit to him there.
Ooh.
Explosive cast, but he doesn't go under the tower.
Quite in the right spot.
Still though, Hanabi does look like he might just have
can
kill
he chase
pressure.
this?
Okay, Rallier has taken a tower shot. This barrel will land the comet. He's gonna have to flash. There's gonna have to be a reaction here. Is gonna get away. Oh,
I can't believe he managed to keep flash there. I think not flashing that Q was pretty greedy.
yeah.
He got out though. I wonder if Hanabi could have chased a bit longer. He kind of turned around pretty early. Oh no, he's trying to find the base. Wow, that was OP.
Yeah. How broken. Orca though is in the region. Will now be able to assist Mission getting this wave pushed in. How much? Oh my, that's half his HP gone.
Yeah, pretty annoying.
Bro just came out of base
And the wave's
lost
not
his
even
health.
really fixed either.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, he fixed it for him.
Okay. Plate goes to Gragas here.
Yeah, Herald is spawning, so kind of do want to push.
Oh,
Good
okay.
lanes.
Prage is top.
Okay, just straight lane swap. I actually kind of like that because I think if you can get Herald, immediately use it top for your Tristana. That feels really good.
Yeah.
And I think they should be able to get this. I mean, they're a lot stronger around here right now. Compare especially the mid lane items. Mercs and Tier.
Oh, okay, Rallier. Now more than ever, it's pretty important that he kept his flash in that instance. I will say though, if the tower's not found and this lane swap continues, Gragas is a lot better at dealing with the pressure than a Jax will be.
Pings back onto top side.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Rallier hooked up. He's lost so much HP.
Yeah.
Luckily though, Orca not 6 yet, which means he's not too scared of his life, although now he certainly has to be, as Orca's just going to sit in this bush. Rallier's not going to be able to walk up to that wave. It is going to be looking like a dive topside though. Hanabi though, realizing this, backs off, uses that body slam to create space away from that bot lane of West Point, and Herald is available. Will be placed down now. Cascada though, happily farming down here.
I wonder who this favors. I mean, in terms of gold, it should be West Point, but the gold is definitely split.
Yeah,
right?
whereas Cascada's just... Oh, okay, definitely...
Oh.
Okay, does get away from that dredge line, but now it's Char. Now Char is the focus, and he should be going down, and Hanabi will pick himself up that kill. And meanwhile, Mission does arrive and pick himself up the kill credit there for 665 as well, as Prage now stuck in this pit. Does get rooted up, does not have flash available, and it looks like Rocket Jump won't be either, and Hanabi picking himself up too. So the Rift Shield as well as some plates found there for West Point, but the huge team fight win for DCG.
A lot of gold traded back. 600 kills for Hanabi. Very nice. I think he's now sitting 2-0-1 on the Gragas. And important in that fight as well is that Mission managed to get the Viego in there somewhere, because this Jace was looking pretty out of the game at this point, but being able to get this Dirk now does matter a lot. And feels like 665 got very greedy for this Krug Crown, was lucky to get out initially there. And Mission chases him in, takes him out. Nice goal for him. Doesn't really have anywhere to go after this, but a lot of cooldowns used for him, admittedly. And Prage flashing in.
He did have the Rocket Jump, just no mana for it.
No. Yeah, stuck, kind of nowhere to go.
Stuck right next to some beefy boys, that's for sure. Poor little Tristana's stuck in the Baron pit with a Makai, Nautilus, and a Gragas.
Not what you want to see. And I think as well, you know, Relia, he was keeping it admittedly very even in this matchup. He was doing a really good job. But because he was weak-sided so hard there, he lost a lot of CS, and Hanabi got 2 kills. So now this matchup that Relia put in a lot of work to make sure was, you know, somewhat playable is about to get very tough.
Yeah, Hanabi even up a level. 80 carry items, fairly even really, all things considered. In fact, I think it's almost exactly even. So it does feel very nice there, and now we're seeing the fruits of Hanabi's labor. The explosive cast comes in. Relia does have his flash available, but he's just holding it. He's holding it for next game. In fact, he does get away for now. Leap strike over to the ward. This guy's got nerves of steel, man.
He does.
There's no way I'm holding my flash there.
Well, credit to him. I do feel a bit bad for Relia because I think this game state isn't really his fault.
No. The team made a decision and unfortunately went a bit awry.
Yeah.
Chris Carter again picking himself up another solo plate as Prage completely zoned away. You have to be careful now. They will know where Orca is and Char in the vicinity.
Looking at that, by the way, the 4 plates to 7, that's West Point coming out 3 plates behind after getting Herald, and they're the ones with the Tristana.
Yeah.
It feels really strange. Feels like the macro went very wrong.
I think lane swapping into a Gragas is when you have the
play.
Jax. Even though Jax loses to the Gragas anyway, Gragas is so much better at dealing with a 2v1 than a Jax is.
Yeah. And West Point, I think they do want to fight this.
Yeah, Nature's Grasp should confirm this Dragon 2v theirs, and now just leaving. Oh, in fact, Orca's going to go in, but the Zenith Blade channels and manages to find Mission. Nice Feather Storm. It's only going to be the 2-man found there for that Pop Blossom, but what can West Point do? They're fighting a lot. Chris Carter, though, relatively unhit. He's getting out a lot of damage. 665 will not find another reset, but Prage will. It's going to be these 2 members of DCG. It's a top and 80 carry versus a top and 80 carry. It's Hanabi now, 2v1ing. It's going to be a 4 for 4. Or is it? Is Hanabi going to find more? He's not. He's not going to risk the tower dive. I think that's smart. Don't want to accidentally give over more gold, but what an insane fight, man. How did that end up being a 4 for 4?
I don't know. That was absolutely wild. I hope we get a replay because it was just, you know, just stuff. Wait, Prage, what are you doing here, buddy? Hops away.
All right, so this will be a tower now. First tower of the game on Hanabi, and Hanabi's so fed now. He's just found so much gold.
And look at the Zenith Blade. Okay, so it caught Mission in the back, but I think it was actually bad for him. You know, it's so far in. Nicole wasn't the best. It misses both the carries and is then immediately taken out. But there's still a lot of AoE, and it looked like there's a lot of people low, so resets from Tristan Viego look very, very good. But they just can't quite manage to get in without dying. And I think Criscata must have done a lot of damage.
I think it was 3k, which at this stage of the game is...
That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
But this Gragas is becoming a major problem. I think he's 4-0-1 now. And he's up about 40 CS when we last looked. So
and the first plate.
Yeah, look at him. Oh my god, he's strong.
Yeah. Yeah, this Gragas is going to be scary. And the thing is, Relia is also pretty strong himself. I mean, he hasn't picked up the Mythic just yet, but 2-1-2, not doing so bad for himself in his own right. And honestly, he's only doing this poorly in CS because of what his team forced him to do. And
yeah, he's down 2 levels though.
Yeah, that's massive. And Gragas really taking control of that side lane now. Nature's Grass comes out. They will get mid lane priority and now head towards what is the Rift Herald. Neither top laner having teleport, so should not be involved unless Hanabi starts making his way up now, and it looks like he will be. Definitely has the fast tracks here, so DCG just patiently waiting, and now as Hanabi's arrived, it's going to be Orca looking. Does manage to land that dredge line there onto Char, but nothing too significant comes from it. But with Hanabi here and Relia on the bot side with no teleport, it should just be this Rift Herald given over to DCG.
It's going to be a nice pickup. And I think I'm sure they'll want to use it mid. Feels like if you can break that open, would be able to speed up the game a lot. So it does get picked up. And Hanami did have to walk to that, so he is going to lose some CS on the bot lane. Allows Relia to catch up just a little bit. Got a little bit of damage there as well. Mission's still pretty far away from item though. I mean, he's getting closer, but 15 minutes, no mythic is pretty late. And you kind of understand why. You need the mercs, you need the tier, and also don't have the first strike, and fell behind, plus ratio. So there's a lot of reasons, but...
Wow, that was a lot of
Oh, he's got it now. Okay, he actually did get it decent time. 16, well, I say decent. Decent considering what's happened.
Now, possible next point of contention. This dragon, which is spawning in a minute. It is 7 kills to 7, so when you're in game, it does look like things are mostly even. And even when you look at items, there's not that big of a discrepancy anywhere other than the top lane. And so I think West Point might even try to contest here. I wouldn't be surprised to see them try because they do get outscaled.
Yeah, I think they should contest. They've got a really good 5v5. I'd like to see them fight. Maybe if they can fight a 4v4, it might be better though.
Yeah, Chris got no flash and Prage does, so perhaps a bit of autonomy afforded here to Prage.
I do think Relia needs to just play for the split push probably and just try and bring that Gragas away because I think a 5v5 with Gragas and Jax involved is definitely not as good as a 4v4 without them. All decided West Point. Herald has dropped mid, and I think this tower should fall unless they can get people here in time.
Yeah,
Probably
the troops
not.
going to be gathered.
Well, they might try to defend it. Cascada sidesteps it.
Oh, Cascada does not sidestep the Zenith Blade, though. Is going to have to use that Featherstorm, and there is still the Pop Blossom available. But Mission jumps on in, executes Char up, and that's going to be a 1-for-0 with Dragon spawning in just 5 seconds.
Nice pickup there, of course. That mid tower did survive. But a second drag for DCG isn't something they'll say no to. And Mission is actually pushing for that top tower. Needs to be pretty careful. There's a creep here. Mission.
Nolly looking, lands the root. There is flash available. He does use it and gets out of that Pop Blossom, but 665, hot on his trail, will flash, land that stun. It should be a kill picked up here, but who gets the credit? It's going to be Nolly.
Very greedy, I think, by Mission to try be pushing for that tower when you are just getting a lot bot side. You're getting the dragon. Really, your job is just to not die. So 4 deaths on him. Not a good game, unfortunately. But the mid tower, well, it'll survive for now. The top tower did fall there, so everything remains pretty even.
I think it remains pretty even until Gragas gets involved.
Yeah, that's the problem, really. 2 items on Cascada. 18 minutes in. Doesn't have himself the boots, so can get them a little quicker.
Game paused. Found out. Sound issue for Hanabi here. So I'll ask you, Shock, who's winning the game?
I think it should still be DCG. I think the Gragas might be too big to deal with.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. Because Nico is not very good at killing Gragas. Nico's pretty good at killing all the squishies, but it's kind of hard to actually reach the squishies, right? It's just the Jace, really. And the Jace is really long ranged. Desire has enough self-peel to cleanse the R. So it should be fine. But yeah, I think I'll give it to DCG. But I think it's still quite close.
Yeah, I definitely do as well. And there is always that big question mark where, at which point in this game does DCG do their first throw? And how impactful is it?
True.
It's coming somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it was just what Mission did. Maybe it was a
he's
nice
got
little
it out
one.
of his system.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the first blood was a bit of a... Well, no, it was second blood. Dying there solo to a whole lot of nothingness, really.
Yeah.
That was a big problem as well.
Was pretty greedy.
But I think that just speaks to the power of Nico, but also how well Nully was controlling that lane.
Nico is a pretty crazy champ.
Also, a possible bit of mind control in there, forcing Mission to not recall and just teleport back to lane.
Yeah, mind control can't be underestimated. And Nully, he's looked pretty good. You know, we've kind of said that maybe he isn't on Mission's level, but proving us wrong in this game. 2-1-4, and the big reason why this game is still so even.
Absolutely is. This bot lane, well, top lane is in the bot lane. Seems like it's going to be pretty hard for Relia.
Okay, 4 minutes away on the next drag. 1 minute until that Baron. I don't think either team really has the DPS to look at it. So I think for now, there might not be a whole lot going on. Probably just want to farm up items. If you're West Point, I think you do kind of want to keep the pressure on. Especially if that Gragas is away. In fact, if you can force Gragas to TP...
Oh, mission.
Oh, I think he's fine.
If he get... Oh,
he's not fine.
Oh,
he is fine.
Okay, that was well played by him. Gets out the Pot Blossom. Costs him nothing. Yeah, that was very well played.
It was.
But
maybe
Char,
now a fight in the river. I mean, it could be good for DCG with that Pot Blossom missing. Hanami is here early, though. Wouldn't even be forced to TP if a fight breaks out.
are looking to just pick up this mid tower. There's no one there to defend. Falls. And this blows open the map a lot more. Mission, though. Mission's going to go down
flash.
here. No flash. He's got no hope. Ooh. Teleport, actually. Oh, another teleport. It's an absolute fiesta up here. As Hanabi first to arrive, Rally coming in, but it's going to be the Zhonya's that dodges out of at least the initial counter-strike. Explosive cast hits Relia close into the team, but it's likely going to be Hanabi picked up there. Cascada on the backside is able to find a kill onto Char, but it's ultimately the shutdown over to Relia as now the team kind of trying to give it praise, just looking in the sapling. Will stun him up, and what a flash from Cascada. Gets out of Relia's initial flash there with the counter-strike, and in fact, Maokai is going to take that kill there, I believe, with a demonic embrace. But well, I was asking when DCG's Throne is going to come in, and
there it
bada
is.
bing, bada boom.
I do think we should get a replay of that, because I think that might have been the most mis-executed skirmish I've seen in a while. I think the Gragas and Jace in that fight did a lot of trolling, and I, for one, would love to expose them.
There you go. We'll have to... I'm sure we'll get a replay, but we might unfortunately get the replay of the bot side that we didn't catch.
True. Okay, two items come in for Prage. Game is still, I mean, very, very even. Okay, we are gonna... Are we gonna see it? We are. Okay. Oh, no, we're not gonna see it. Tragic. Well, okay, well, let's see what happened on the bot side. Hana found out Char. Orca, did he hook the wall there? I can't tell what he did. Char was very low. How did Cascada lose all of his health? Was it to Tristana? Must have been. Oh. Gets E'd on. Oh, wow, yeah. Okay, so he lost his R here and a lot of HP. That was actually a pretty big turning point, because now he's so low for this team fight. He had that flash that kept him alive from Relia, but that was an interesting flash from Orca. I see what he was going for, but I think just couldn't really find a way. And wait, that was Mission's TP. I didn't even notice this in the fight.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. I will say the DCG solo laners, while they're normally a huge strength of their team, they did play that pretty horrifically.
Report that, man.
On bot side, though, Relia's caught up in levels almost. He's only one behind. Mission does grab that top tower. Okay, 50 more seconds on the Dragon. I think, again, both teams will be looking at this. 2 items completed here for Nully. He's got that Shadow Flame. Has ignored the Zhonya. So it's just going to go to deal lots of damage. Mission also gets his 2 items down. That's a very big spike. I mean, the Jace has been very lackluster, but as he inches closer to these 3 items, I mean, 2's a pretty good spike already. He's going to really start to have the poke come online. Hull Breaker now for Relia. So I think definitely wants to play for that 4-1, try and make it a 4v4. But it might be too late to really set it up here, because Dragon's only 10 seconds away. Maybe just keep sprinting it down the side lane. I think it could be good.
Possible game-deciding fight could come through here. Baron is alive.
Yeah, West Point need to play this really slow. Allow your Jax to split push.
Ooh, okay.
He's got a red buff.
Jace has found some poke, but that honey fruit as well as that red buff. Praise should be fine to heal on back up. Hana now entering the pit as Nully is on the side there, cloned as a Leona, and it will be Relia turning up, but the fight breaks out. Nature's Grasp coming out nice and early. It's going to be the Dragon, at least for now, found by 665. It's massive root there from the Everfrost, and Orca now does try to find the route onto what was an Eco clone. Char slowed up. Hana's going forward. He's flashed, twisted advance. He's not got the damage as Char does manage to get away for now. Relia, though, has gone in, and so has Mission. He misses the shock blast, and Relia is really, really tanky. Turning it around, will likely find a kill. Does go down for his efforts, though, and on the top side is Cascada trying to find the damage. Prage is not very healthy, but he's walking forward. The Feather Storm will not catch him. Oh my god, Nully cleans up the double kill.
How are these fights just always so close? Just one person surviving at the very end of that, and on a sliver of health as well. Another insane team fight. This West Point DCG game is just absolutely delivering. It is now 3 items picked up by Cruscata, though, and I think that is a pretty big turning point in this game because he's kind of putting the team on his back at this point, and having the BT is going to make it a lot easier. And once again, I think that this actually looked pretty good here for DCG. You know, initial engage, it's not the best, but there's a lot of damage down. It feels like you can kind of just chase West Point down. As long as you just keep poking, don't need to overcommit. You could even maybe turn towards Baron at this point after getting some chunk. But I think what really kind of...
Right here.
I think this wasn't too bad. I actually think what Mission did was a little worse. So if you notice, just keep your eyes on the Jace here. I mean, he's doing fine. But once he chases Relia into this bush, I mean, you can play this fight slow and it's completely fine. You can keep poking. No one can hit you now. But he walks into Relia and dies. And that's a lot of damage now missing from this fight. Cruscata, he did a lot of damage here, but was eventually taken down. And Hanabi tries to save him, was slightly too late in that.
Oh,
He just gets them all at the end. But what a crazy fight. I mean, what an absolute banger.
I don't even know what's going on in these fights, man. Every single fight we see, there's just 2 different fights going on in the same fight. And one side of them has Mission missing a lot of skills and teleporting into the middle of 3 people. But
they do. In that picture-in-picture there, we did have Hanabi go down to a Nico ult. So it probably was just a minion down mid-wave or something. Ooh, Mission. This might not be...
This could be terrible.
This is a bad idea. Okay, he gets out.
Yeah, luckily he has the phase rush. Of course, I'm sure he was aware that he could get out, but it was a little dicey. 3 items for Gragas now. You need Hanabi to really pick it up here in the team fights. He has so much of the gold.
That's so annoying.
Wow, that was probably a lot more committed than needed to be.
Fine, they did get him. 3 items, yeah, for Nuli and for Prage, and that's pretty big. I think Zonya's on the Nico can buy a lot more time. I feel like team fights are honestly favored towards West Point right now. You kind of need some poke to land from Mission beforehand. There is no lifesteal from West Point to deal with it. And Cruscata, he's got stopwatch and BT, so he is pretty hard to kill. But I feel like if West Point play out the fight well, they should probably come out ahead. And for the first time this game, they have themselves a gold lead.
Now Hanabi has walked up to mid again. Maybe trying to force out that teleport from Jax. Wouldn't be a bad decision, but they do have to be careful about it. Mission recalling. He might be the one that answers the Jax here.
Yeah, I mean, he can at least clear the wave. Does have the TP. He's probably pretty... Okay, so he gets the last Whisper there. Still pretty far from Cyrilda's, though. Okay. I'm a little surprised that Maokai didn't go for AP this game. Just because Gragas is more of the off AP, right? It does a lot of damage, but it's not often that you buy magic resist just for Gragas. Although that being said, Relia, he's got a Wit's End and a Hull Breaker, so he is built for the side lane.
Yeah. Although less built for the side lane if Mission's the one answering.
I still think he beats him though.
Yeah, still absolutely beats him. At least for now. There might be an argument later that Mission with his short trades might be able to stand up against Relia. But you definitely need the Cyrildas first. Dragon, though, 20 seconds away, and we might see our next circus show of just... I don't know. I can't even describe what happens. Normally, though, on this Nico, could have so much effect. Does have the flash available, and of course the Hextech Rocket Bout. And at least for now, it looks like DCG want to give the Dragon and contest this Baron.
Oh, they started up already. They're going to force Relia to TP away from bot, which I think is the main idea. I think when TP is committed, though, they might turn. Although Baron's already very low. They might just 50-50
Baron
it.
is going to go over. 665 flashes into... Well, actually, ults into the pit, flashes on out, and Char now hooked up. Should be okay, actually, after flashing out, as Orca's going to flash just the same. Both supports now flashless, but it's Baron picked up nice and quickly there for DCG. Now, Hanabi recalling. Here comes the minion. It's going to be a pop blossom, but it's only going to find Orca. And Cruscata's going to go down there. It's Prage who eventually finds that kill on the other side of the fight. Mission, Hanabi, Hana trying to do what they can, but it's this Jax, it's this Tristana, still alive, but the flash body slam will ensure that Prage does go down, and now Relia last alive. Explosive cast not used during the fight will be used here, and Relia does not have it in him to find the stun onto the Jace. It's an ace. It's only 2 kills for West Point, and with Mission marching down mid, it looks like an inhib. Hana starting on this Dragon. I don't even know what's going on in these fights.
It was another just absolutely crazy fight. We will get a look at it, I'm sure, but I think Nuli's Pop Blossom, if it had been slightly later, actually would have got Cruscata. It was really good, though, I think, by DCG to just commit this Nature's Grasp, burst the Baron down, bring Relia away from bot lane. All this looks really, really good. And then a nice initial re-engage here, forces Sums out of Char, gets him very low, of course. And now it feels like you can kind of just chase him down. Do have to be, keeping in mind the re-engage, which is exactly what happens here. So pay attention to Nuli. I feel like maybe should have just waited a little bit longer. I mean, it is hard because eventually you'll get spotted, but his ult, again, didn't find anyone, which is a big problem. And then at the end here, really nice target selection to just go past the Jax and commit everything to the Tristana. That was very, very nice from DCG. Another creep goes down mid. Ooh, it is found there. Cyrilda now on Jace. So Jace just got a lot scarier. I think once you reach this point, it's really, really big. Now, a GA picked up by Prage. I think it's definitely the wrong item. I think this needs to be some lifesteal up against the Jace. Now, I don't think GA is going to do anything for you.
Ooh, Everfrost is used there. It's the Rockabout in response.
Why does he have a GA?
I don't know, maybe, I don't know, not get assassinated by the Gragas. It's hard to tell.
Well, we'll see. Void Staff on Hanabi, that might make his side lane matchup a bit closer. Obviously can just sit under tower, especially with Baron, and never really be an issue. But DCG, they're up 5.7k gold with this Baron power play, so what an absolute gold swing. 3 minutes on their 4th drag. They didn't end up cracking the base with this Baron, though, but they got themselves some much-needed items. Well, not much to say for a bit.
Yeah, I think it's just things should be relatively quiet, at least until 3 minutes' time, where we might see yet another absolute beatdown.
Absolute beatdown. That's what I'm looking forward to. Cruscata doesn't have the flash just yet, so they might want to wait for that as well. I think he has a stopwatch still. I didn't check. Yeah, he's still got one.
Oh.
Oh.
Navi knows.
That creep's looking awfully suspect there. And maybe DCG will try break this without Baron. It is going to be hard, but if they can land some Jace poke, I could see it. Do need to be a little careful walking up, though. 2.5 minutes. As long as DCG can maintain control over this bot jungle, that's really all they need to do. Hana's getting a bit aggressive on mid.
Okay, Baron and Dragon do spawn at the same time, and this is always the worst conundrum to be in. One team on Soul Point, one team's not, and both objectives spawning at the same time.
Yeah, does not feel good as a team without that Dragon Soul threat. Another tower goes down, so just more gold being picked up, but it's only a 4k gold lead, and at this stage of the game, you feel like 4k gold doesn't matter too much. Will probably just mostly come down to teamfight execution. Prage picks himself up some magic resist. He's got a Hex Drinker.
Yeah, and I think it's not realistic, but you really would have liked to have had that Rabadons available for Noli prior to this next fight. But obviously very, very expensive item. Unless he's got a lot saved up, shouldn't be able to get access to that. And that could just be the difference as well. We've seen so many of these fights come down to the absolute wire.
1 minute away now.
Oh my, there's fights on different areas of the map. Yet again, Nature's Grasp.
Ooh.
Okay, does get the flash.
That's a pretty big cooldown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes the fight a lot easier for Cruscata. Okay. And if you're DCG, I mean, there is the chance that you could just burst this Baron down and do Dragon. I mean, the Baron comes up a full 20 seconds earlier. You've got a lot of damage. You definitely have control. GA now on missions Jace. Now, as if they can push this up. Okay, no jump from Prage. I think they could just walk to Baron and burst it. It kind of looks like what they're doing. They need to be a little careful of funneling themselves into the choke, though. They might be better off taking a fight in mid lane instead.
Yeah. Obviously, Nico throwing out her clones is so annoying. It gets so much vision.
Does give Cruscata some lifesteal off it, though.
Yeah, true. Now, that's another wave cleared. Dude, they are hitting topside. Hanabi is waiting, but he is absolutely sitting on a ward.
Okay, looks like they might 3-man Baron. I like this.
Yep.
I think it's gone.
It does look like it will be. You're not going to get here in time, West Point. Char, though, flashing forward, will find an engagement, but it's just going to be onto the Nautilus, and Char getting so low, likely to be taken out here. I'm not sure what the Zhonya's is for, but the, 4-man Pop Blossom. Noli doing his absolute damnedest to put this team on his back, but ultimately the damage just wasn't there. It's going to be, so far, 1 picked up here for the side of West Point, but it's 3, 4, and almost certainly going to be 5 for DCG. And despite what was a heroic Nico ultimate, it's going to be the team fight win here. Although Relia finding himself a kill onto Cruscata might mean the game doesn't end just yet. It is, however, definitely going to be this Dragon as well as the Baron for DCG.
Yeah, big wins there, and I think with that TP, they probably are going to try play for the end. There's 15 seconds on Viego, 5. Okay, they can't play for the end. Maybe an inhib, though, could be picked up. And Mission, he had a horrible early game, but he did 7,000 damage in that team fight. So, can't say no to that, really.
I wonder if Hanabi fat-fingered Zhonya's instead of...
Yeah, probably. Okay, but the Pop Blossom was incredible.
Yeah.
But the problem is that Relia has already used E and is so far away, he can't follow up. You know, maybe if he had that flash from before, could have actually followed up, and maybe that could have been a very different fight, but those carries, they limped away, you know, Cruscata and Mission with very low health. There'd been a bit more damage, it could have been a completely different story. And Relia, he buys a lot of time here at the end and probably does save the game from ending. But he does go down nonetheless, and I think Mission might have killed his AD carry here. Hey, it's a sacrifice that he's willing to make.
Boy, these fights are getting close. That one, while obviously health and members was in favor of DCG, I think if 1 or 2 things are different, it goes to West Point, because that Nico Pop Blossom was phenomenal, but there was no follow-up for it, really. And now, it was hard then, but now you've got to stare down the barrel of a Mountain Soul across the DCG side. As well as Mission now, 4 items GA is completed. It also has the BF sword in his back pocket, and full build now for Cruscata on the Xayah.
Yep. Some damage does come out here from the Jace. I mean, he's almost full build. If he can land it onto the right people, would be really good. Prage, he really only has that red buff for lifesteal, although he probably has Bloodline. First Baron wave is crashing on bot. They need to sync these up. Mission can probably just hit the mid inhib. Yeah, he's going to get a couple orders on it, and it won't last long.
Does go down.
Well, that's one. Now they're going to work on bot lane. I think Mission should just keep these mid waves baroned up, kind of draw people away from it, keep landing the poke. Mission's going to base. Is he going to TP to a creep here? Okay, TP's to a creep far back. Baron is now expired, but they're still going to get 2 inhibs. And I think that, I mean, I don't know.
That should be a good feel.
Oh.
Although Orca finds a max range hook onto 665, they decide not to capitalize on it. Instead, preferring to play safe. They're backing all out now.
Okay,
and this game
is
is
on Nuli.
Oh, okay. That is a very big item. That could really be a team fight deciding item.
If you can find another ult like that last time, I definitely think so.
Although GA available on Cruscata this time, which makes it just that much harder to reliably win a fight. We are ultimately 40 minutes in here, and any death is such a long death timer. It feels like West Point have to win 2. Orca
Okay, tower is gone though.
Yeah,
Third
and
inhib.
so is the solar flare. The dredge line is going to be used here onto Prage, who takes so much damage. He's going to have to back out. He doesn't have a bloodthirster. Bloodline will not be enough to sustain up here, and that's the third inhib going down. Rallier in the meantime is trying to get to work in the bot lane, but it might be too little too late as the fight looks like it's coming out again. Rallier recalling now. Is trying to get back to Halp. It looks like this will be the final fight, but what is going to happen? Where's Nooley? Pop Blossom comes out, but it's only onto the Nautilus, and he has almost been eliminated. In the meantime, though, it is the Nautilus going down. There will not be an Orca in this fight, and Viego, in fact, stealing that body is a bit weaker than the Viego possibly was, with three-man stun found from Rallier. It's going to be Criscata, though. He's fairly untouched. He still has the Bloodthirster. Rallier trying to get away, and Prage gets hit by the Shock Blast. Prage gets jumped on by Mission. Prage jumps away, and it's still 3 members strong here for West Point, but it's against the 4 of DCG, and there's just so much lifesteal coming out. Criscata GA available, Mission GA available, and nothing of sorts available here for West Point. It's going to be a 40-minute game, but eventually DCG will take it. It wasn't easy, but they did finally manage to cross the line.
They finally crossed the line, and